Hi guys! Welcome to Girls Gone Woke, where we inspire you to live a more conscious and joyful life. I'm Monica.
And I'm Claire. We're so grateful to have you here and bring you along on this journey with us.
Let's get started!
And I do love seeing your face.
I love seeing your face every week.
Well, should we get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do
do
it.
Episode number 10.
Oh, is it 10? Double freaking digits.
Finally.
I know. We are. For anyone who's listening, thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah, and if you're new to our channel, welcome. I'm Monica, here with my bestie Claire.
Yeah.
And the whole mission of Girls Gone Woke is just to inspire you to live a more conscious and joyful life. So that is what we are here to do, just joining in on our FaceTimes, because Claire and I always talk about deep, real shit that a lot of people just don't talk about.
Yeah.
And we've done so much work on ourselves, so we thought that we would share today some iPhone happiness hacks.
Ooh, this is a good one, Lonnie, I think.
It is. Yes, I feel like I have some good hacks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with yours?
Sure. But technology is just one of those like love-hate relationships for me, because obviously I love my phone. It allows me to like FaceTime my dad all the way across the country in Wisconsin with like a press of a button. Like, how cool is that? It's so cool. Yeah. But then also it can just be so distracting and suck all of my time. I'll go into social media or Instagram and then look at the clock and an hour will pass and I'll be like, where the fuck did that hour go? We'll go through some happiness hacks to help you use your phone intentionally and not let it consume you. The first one that I would start with is different, but the passcode that you use to log into your phone, it can either be numbers or letters. I always choose letters, and my passcode is always an affirmation of like what I need to work on the most at that point in my life. So a year ago when I first started doing this whole self-awareness journey, and I realized that I didn't really know my worth, or I didn't really know that I was enough. My passcode at that point was I am enough, just typing it out, I am enough. And think about how many times you pick up your phone and have to type in your passcode. That it's probably like 10 plus times a day. Like you pick up your phone way more than you're conscious of. And so every time, that's just an added reminder of whatever you need to work on. I am enough. And then after a while, you're like, wow, I am enough.
Aww.
And now mine has changed, because now in my life, I just feel like there's a lot of uncertainty, especially with me changing jobs and obviously the whole pandemic. I feel like a lot of people just feel so uncertain. So the word that I type in my passcode now is safe. And it's just a good daily reminder, I am safe. And no matter what is going on in the world, and it can feel scary, it's not like the old days where we actually had to worry about like lions eating us in the hunter-gatherer stage. Like, I have a roof over my head, I have clothes, I have food. I don't need to be stressing about bills and things that aren't actually going to kill me.
Yeah, that's actually a really great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's awesome. And yeah, when you think about it, the amount of times you log into your phone, a lot of times unintentionally,
right?
Like it kind of brings you back to like the present moment and brings you back to that sense of, okay, I'm here, everything's okay. And it also makes you go into your phone with more of a purpose. So
right.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Another tip, I mean, obviously I can't not talk about social media with our phones.
Yep.
It's another love-hate relationship. I definitely recommend setting social media timers on your phone. And it's super easy to do. You just go into your settings and screen time, and then down to app limits. Turn your app limits on, and then under social networking, you can choose your daily limit. So mine's set at 35 minutes every day, which actually flies by. So it just makes you more aware of how much you're actually on social media networks. It'll shock you actually when you first set the limit, like 35 minutes. I was like, that is a good chunk of time. I don't need to be on Instagram for more than half an hour.
Yeah,
And then that lock would go on like pretty early in the day. And I'm like, what the fuck? There's no way it could have been 35 minutes already.
I
But
know.
so it's just something that brings awareness to how much time you're actually spending on social media. And I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah. And did you know, Monty, there's also something, or I don't know where it is in your settings, but your phone will tell you how much screen time you were on it per day. And I was absolutely shocked before I was like trying to become more aware of it. I was in, this is so embarrassing to say, but like there were some days I was on my phone for more than 5 hours. Granted, this is what I do also for work, but I was shocked. I was like, my poor eyes, the poor people around me. Like, what was I doing? Was my head just like down the whole time for 5 hours? That's so crazy.
It is crazy.
It helps when you have an actual number because the day can fly by and you can just not be thinking about it. But when you see it concretely down in front of your face, like, okay, it's a big reality check. And I think it's very necessary for people to do that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be scary looking at the number, but you just got to do it to bring awareness to it.
Yep.
Yes. Another happiness hack for your iPhone. This one's a little more ballsy, but if you're feeling ballsy and courageous, then I recommend doing a phone holiday.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times. It's super interesting because I've done it where Brian and I, my boyfriend, I live in LA and we'll go to San Diego for a weekend. And there's been a couple times where I just leave my phone here in LA. And it's actually so amazing because one, it makes you realize how dependent we are on our phones.
Yeah.
Because even on the drive down to San Diego, like I'll notice myself just unconsciously going into my purse being like, where's my phone? He's like, Monica, you left it at home. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. It's just like an unconscious habit to
Right.
always have it. It was so nice because I was fully present that entire weekend. I didn't have to be worried about distractions from my phone ringing, or me worried about looking at notifications. It was just very freeing.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of a little bit of anxiety initially, but I think that's normal. It just showed that I'm addicted to it, and then I was able to enjoy my weekend. So
Right.
I do like that every now and then. If that is too much for you, you can always just leave it at home while you go to the grocery store, or leave it at home when you go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Baby steps, but I do think it was so freeing.
Yeah, that's amazing. And did you find that your and Brian's conversations were that much better too, just because you were so much more like invested?
I think so.
For me, I find that I'm so distracted by my phone. Like I'll look down and then I'll totally forget what we were even talking about. And Tony will be like, babe, were you even like listening? So I feel like that would be so beneficial for any relationship.
Right. And Brian, and I feel like Tony, your boyfriend, is like this too, but Brian's so good about not being on his phone. And when he's with me, he gives me his undivided attention.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're out for dinner, he leaves his phone in his jacket or never brings it out to look at it. Where
Yeah.
I'm the one that will bring it out and look at it every now and then. So,
Mm-hmm.
yes, me not having my phone, I feel like I was a lot more present with him. And it was nice.
That's actually so cute. The iPhone holiday or the phone holiday.
Holiday.
That's,
Try it out.
I know. I really need to.
It's scary at first.
Well, yeah. And for me, I'm so connected to it because it's literally so I have a Dexcom. I'm
Mm.
diabetic for those who are new here. And that's literally how I check my blood sugar. So I'm almost like forced to have it. But I guess I could go back to the old fashioned way and just like use a meter and
Yeah,
because
try that.
that'd be
Try that
really
this
nice to
weekend.
disconnect from that too. Because not
Yes.
like not checking my blood sugar, but just to do a little mental break where I don't see my numbers constantly
Right.
and just do a little weekend.
Yeah. That's the other thing. I'm just for like safety reasons, I wouldn't not take a phone and then go on a solo camping trip by myself
Right.
because that is dumb. Something to do, but dumb. But Brian, he had his phone in San Diego, so if anything, if the car would have broke down, anything like that, we did have a phone we could use for emergencies.
Yeah. Wait, that's such a good one.
Should try it, really.
Yeah.
It was like a breath of fresh air.
Yes. I need to do that.
And just the amount of times, like it happened all weekend that I would reach in my purse just in moments of like stillness. If Brian would get up to go pee at a restaurant and I was sitting at the table alone, automatically I would find myself reaching in my purse for my non-existent phone and then being like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Just sit here and look around? Like,
Oh,
yeah, you can just sit here and look around. You're going to be fine. You don't have to just automatically pull out your phone and look at Instagram.
no. Well, I feel like the beauty of that too is it just gives you so much more space to be creative and just like relax. There's never a silent moment for me because whenever I have that like gap of, okay, what do I do now? You're right. I grab my phone and I scroll, I watch a video. And it's
So
not always bad things, but it's still filling my mind with like clutter that's unnecessary and makes
totally.
me way less productive.
Yes.
So, wow, that was a really cool one. I
Thank you.
wasn't expecting that.
Really?
Yeah,
Throwing you for a loop.
you killed it, Nani. So, I have a few apps that I actually find to be very beneficial for relaxing me. So, I thought rather than just like us, how we usually kind of go straight to the social media thing, I do have some apps that I really like. And for me, I have a really difficult time like shutting my mind off at night. So obviously, if you like the phone light, I always like put it to a more warm light at night so I don't get that those blue UV rays just making my eyes all fuckety.
Right.
Excuse my French. But I also have this, it's called Calm. And literally just the visuals, if your mind starts to race, it just, I don't know, it completely brings me into the present moment. And I don't know what it is about it, just like the sounds and everything, it kind of quiets my mind so that when it's time to sleep, I can actually sleep and I can turn off those ruminating thoughts.
Yeah. I've heard great things about that app.
Yes, Monty, I love it. Like, I actually do really like it. I think there's like a low fee when you first pay for it, and then depending on like the different features you want to unlock, you might have to like upgrade your plan. But I don't think like the baseline Calm is like expensive at all.
Gotcha.
But it honestly does, like, I love it. Because it's those like visuals that just like totally like draw you in and you forget what you were even
Yes.
thinking
Oh,
about,
fun.
which I find to be very beneficial. And then another thing is now going back into the social media subject. For me, I think it's all about moderation and being mature about your social media use. Go into it with a purpose. Go into it looking for something that would inspire you. Or if you want to read like a cool article and you're really inspired by this one author, follow those type of people. Monty and I talk about this all the time till we're blue in the face, but it's so beneficial to not just like unconsciously scroll. It's just a waste of time. Go into it with a purpose, and I feel like you'll leave that like virtual space feeling a lot more fulfilled. I know I found that, and Monica just like doing this Girls Gone Woke journey, we both have been following just like really cool, inspirational people, and it's been such a game changer for my mental health. So that's a big one. And then another funny little thing that I do, I'm very visual, and for work, I do a lot on my phone and on the computer. So I color coordinated all my apps just so it's a little bit more like visually appealing. And I'm not like constantly like scrolling to find where things are. It just like when you look at it, it makes you kind of happy. And I'm just like a believer when you are organized, you feel so much better. You kind of feel like your life is in order, even if it's not.
Yes.
So little things like that. just helped me so much. And then another iPhone hack, I didn't know you could do this. This is actually like my last kind of hack.
Mm-hmm.
But in your notes section, you can actually click, there's this like little bubble, and you can create lists in your notes and like check them off. So
Ooh.
I like to do that every morning because when I start my day off just like with a clear idea of what I need to do and accomplish, it's so satisfying to hit the little bubble.
God, yes. I would literally put make bed. Check.
Oh my God.
Wow, I'm so accomplished today already.
Literally. Like it just is such a little like boost of
It is. I love checking shit off a list.
yes. And even if it's something as small as like, girl, you got in the shower and you brushed your teeth, like knock it off. Being an adult, that shit is hard. So
It is.
reward yourself by clicking that little box or the little dot, and it's like so freaking rewarding. So
I'm gonna have to look into that.
I know it's all about not overdoing it, not overdoing anything, and just when you're on your phone, go into it with more of a purpose.
Exactly. You control your phone. Your phone should never control you.
Yes, you freaking nailed that.
I feel like we gave some good happiness hacks.
Yes. Yours were like, I'm
Or
gonna do that. I'm gonna put like a mantra as my
yes.
passcode.
It honestly, like I probably type it in 20 times a day. And it just always brings me back to the present moment. And it always brings awareness to what I need to focus on, like safe. So many times I was frustrated today at work. Type that into my phone. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm safe. I'm this little human on a giant planet that's in this huge galaxy and the entire universe. Like, this problem is not a problem. Like, I'm safe. It just brings things into reality and makes me feel better.
Right. And those little reminders, like sometimes that's all you need to hear is like one word to like bring you back into that safe space. I think that'll do it.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. We're so happy to have you on our FaceTimes, joining Claire and I on our journey.
Our
And
times.
FaceTimes, yes. We do them every week. Hope you gained some insight from this. Share with your family and friends, anybody who you think would gain something from this or needs some positivity and more joy in their life,
Yeah.
which isn't these days.
Yep. And if you liked our video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe so you can hang out with us every Sunday.
Yay, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.